music time. Come join me. Hi, it's Mrs. T, and today I'm going to give you a little mini voice lesson, just covering a few things that are the very most important things about singing. But actually, the very most important thing is that you're enjoying singing, that you love to sing, because that's what singing is all about, loving it. Having your own unique voice. You don't ever need to make your voice sound like somebody else, somebody that you hear on a recording, somebody that you hear on the radio, a friend. Have your own voice. That's what's special about singing. We have unique voices, and it's something that creates a lot of joy for us. So if you turned it off right here and you said to yourself, the most important thing with singing is that I'm having fun and enjoying it, that would be fine. That's what I want you to know the very most. But if you want to know a few things about singing technique beyond that, you can continue to watch. I'm going to share 3 parts of singing with you. Number 1, posture. That's how we stand. Number 2, how we breathe when we sing. And number 3, space when we sing. So I hope that you enjoy and you learn a few things about singing today. Okay, I am a little bit short on photographers right now, so you're going to have to forgive me. I'm doing this selfie style right here in front of my shower curtain, but we're going to make this work. The first thing we're going to talk about is something that's actually pretty important, but it's also fairly simple. It is called posture, and posture is how we stand, how we shape our bodies when we sing. So we're going to start with actually the very lowest part of our body, which is our feet. All right, so your feet should be shoulder width apart. You don't have to get out a ruler or anything and measure how far your shoulders are, but you can kind of feel where your shoulders are, about shoulder width apart. We don't want to have too much weight be on the front of our feet or too much weight be on the heels of our feet, but kind of evenly balanced. And then coming up to our knees, kind of have your knees slightly bent, not super bent, but just relaxed. And then we're going to come up to the higher part of our body. So when I talk to singers about how we stand, I often like to talk about having an imaginary string on the top of our head and thinking about that string pulling us up so we're growing. You never want to feel stiff or not relaxed when you're singing. You just want to feel tall. And if you can think about it, we have our spines, which is that series of bones that go up our back. You want to feel like those bones are all stacked up on top of one another so you're nice and tall. Your shoulders shouldn't be too far back or too far forward. Just think about them being relaxed and your whole body being nice and tall. If your whole body is nice and tall, you'll be able to breathe better and you'll have better presence when you sing. Okay, so the next part of singing I'm really excited to share with you because it's probably the most important aspect, and that is breath. Breath is everything in singing. It's actually everything in any kind of vocal sound we make. Speaking, singing, making other noises. You have to have breath to create vocal sounds. So I'm going to tell you why. We have these things, our instrument in here, they're called vocal folds. Sometimes people call them vocal cords, but these vocal folds vibrate. And the vibration of the vocal cords or vocal folds are actually what makes sound. Breath has to go through them to allow them to vibrate. They won't vibrate without breath. So that breath is super important. So I'm going to talk to you about great singer's breath. A lot of times when people say take a nice deep breath, you'll see people go, and they'll lift their shoulders and they'll fill that chest up with air. Well, as singers, we really want that breath to be lower. So we're going to talk about great singer breath, okay? So I have the camera pointed down here on my belly, and I'm going to talk about filling that belly up with air. Now, there's a number of reasons why we want the breath to be low and fill up our bellies with air. I'm not going to list those all so we can keep this lesson somewhat short, but maybe I'll do a lesson a little bit longer in the future and talk about why it's important. For right now, I want you to picture your belly being a balloon or a beach ball, and you're filling it up with air. So put your hand right here on your belly. You can look in the mirror if you'd like, and we're going to take a nice deep breath. And you see my belly, it's a good belly to show it with, fills up with air, and I'm going to let it out. Okay, I'm going to fill it up again. Ooh, there we go, and let it out. And one more time, fill that belly up with air. And let it out. Nice. So keeping that breath low down there in your belly is really important. It takes a lot of practice. I'm a singer and I've been singing for a long time, and I still practice my breathing. The best way is to practice it in front of a mirror. So strengthen those belly muscles, practice that control over your breath. That's a really important aspect of singing. The third and last aspect of singing that I'm going to discuss with you today is about space. Space in our face area. And so the first part of space I'm going to talk about is space in our mouth. When we sing, we want to open up our mouths so we can share our sound. I used to have a voice teacher that used to say to me, don't be selfish with your sound and keep it to yourself. Share it with everybody. And really the only way to do that is by creating some space. So we want to drop that jaw and open our mouths, so lots of space so that sound really is allowed to come out. So we don't have oh, but we have oh, lots of space. But actually that space continues back. It's not just here in the front, but it goes back into our mouths, into the back of our mouths, and into our throat. The top of our mouth, the roof of our mouth, and into our throat is actually really flexible, kind of squishy and flexible, and you can actually create a lot of space. So I think the best way I have to describe it is think about the back of your mouth and into your throat smiling and creating lots of space. Just practice that. Oh, lots of space. If you've ever been in a cave or a cave-like place, you've noticed that your voice echoes. Well, it's kind of the same thing with space. Back here, we're creating a cave. We're creating room for our voice to echo off all of the walls back there. There's a $1 million word in singing. We call that echoing resonance. So if you use that word, I'm creating resonance back here, you'll be very impressive. I think you should use it. See if you can impress somebody. So we're going to create resonance with lots of space, and you might even see some things going on in my face when I'm creating that space. So I'm going to show you a simple song sung without space here and without space here, and then we're going to try it with space and see if you can tell a difference in the sound. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Okay, now I'm going to show it to you with some space. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. You could hear it a little bit better, and the sound might have sounded a little bit better on the second one. Maybe didn't sound awful in the first one, but I think you can improve it a lot with that space. So I hope that you practice using space with your mouth and thinking about lots of space back in the back of your mouth and into your throat. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. We'll see you next time.
That's the end of our song.